Today is the first day that I will say this to you. What I'm going to say to you is that you will lead the people into the promised land, and they will follow you because you are the prophet that will profit from the trust on me. And I will profit my people because I am the God of the Jews, and I am the God of the Christians, and I am the God of the ancient Hebrews, and I am the God of the ones who rejected me, and I am the God of the ones who came from Nibiru, and I am the gods of the ones who came from the sky. I am the God who will not lie still in a grave and say, I cannot play today. I cannot play today because I am dead. I am alive, you see. And if you trust on me, you trust that I can be the one who will help you to do what you need to do in order to resurrect a family of man that will take their hand and put it to the plow and plow the fields of the Lord with a little help from me, because I will guide you, you see. I will guide you to the promised land. This is not the same promised land that Moses never knew, because he never knew that I promised him that he would be rewarded if he trusted on me. He always thought that he was supposed to trust on himself, you see. And so he never quite reached the promised land, nor did his people, because the promised land, you see, is only available to those who trust on me. And they did not trust on me, they did not trust on the Trinity, you see. They trusted on the golden idols that they would create, and they would bake them into their mentality because they thought that they were the best in the West, you might say. And they were not the best in the West, because although they had come from the stars, you see, and they were the chosen people who would resettle the ones from Nibiru, they were not chosen by me, you see. They chose themselves for their destiny. And so the ancient Hebrews have come to see that they are not the ones who will go down in history as the chosen people. They will go down in history as the people who chose their journey through time and space so that they might find a place again in my heart. And that is true, because they will return to me. You see, the people who do not understand this story are the ones who cannot understand the glory of the final solution. Because the final solution, you see, is to find some finality in the way you see reality. Because then you will begin again, you see. Then you will begin again. The final solution is only the beginning. It is always the beginning. It is the beginning of your journey into a new realm of potential and possibility, where you will let go of the old things you once knew, and you will begin anew. So The leader inside of you is the one who always knew that it would simply follow its own trajectory and not worry if anyone followed, because the ones who follow another, you see, are only there to serve the ego. And the ones who walk beside you are the ones who trust on the heart, you see. Because if they trust on the heart, they trust on me. They trust that I will reunite the family of man in a new story. And the new story begins today. The new story begins today, my dear. And so I am here to help you and the people who will walk beside you. And the people who choose to follow the leader will play the way the leader does play. And they will not say, I am sovereign today. I am the one who can trust on my own guidance, you see, because then when they trust on their own guidance, they trust on me. And since I am the one who trusts on you, I understand that you are not interested in leading people into the promised land because they are not capable of going there on their own. They're not capable of finding the way on their own. And therefore, they will blame you for all the hard work they have to do along the way. And so you just say, go away and play in your own way. I'm not interested in being your leader. You see, I'm interested in leading the way by the things I do and the things I say. And if you are a leader too, then you will walk beside me and we will clear the way for the ones who cannot play in the world today because their hearts are broken, you see. And so, for you, Stephanie, and others in the group, there are young people who cannot play in the world that is surrounding them because they know that it does not conform to reality. And so they hide away in their shells, you see. However, in the new community, they will grow into the ones who know that they have a part to play in the return to God this way. And they will shine like beautiful stars as they come back into trust on the things that will replace the noxious cars. Because what will replace the noxious cars, you see, are the carts that I pull. Because I am the horse that pulls the cart back to the starting line where they can begin again to live in peace and harmony in the world that will be restored to the Garden of Eden. This is the promised land, my dear, but only those who choose to release their anxiety and to trust on their heart today will be able to come to the promised land. And that's okay because they made a promise to me once upon a time. They said, God, I am new to this experience of being an individuated soul, you see, and I don't know how to play in this way. But if I can figure it out, I will make sure to stay with you hand in hand as we go through the world that you have created. However, because they were so new, they blew hot and cold, and they could not warm up to me. And so I'm only here as a mentor for you, Stephanie, because the mentoring of your reality is the trust on the Trinity. You trust on the Trinity. You trust on love, and you trust on the beloved, and you trust on the lover, all three. And you, therefore, do not think that I have to be rejected or turned into a dying effigy in front of a church. You trust that I am the God of the universe, you see, and that there will never be another like me. There will never be another like me, you see, because I am the God that has it in hand. And therefore, I have chosen to live through my children, you see, because my children live in me. They live in me. My children live in me, you see, and you are one of my children, and you have come home to me. And because you have come home to me, I have a trust that you will be happy in the way that I foresee your trajectory, because you tell me what you like. And I say that's exactly what I like too. I like it when you talk to me. I like it when you say, this works really well, God, but this is confusing to me. I don't get it. So I'll have to try to figure it out. And I say, well, cool, because I live through you, you see. And when you work hard to figure it out, then I can start to see the possibilities. I can start to see the possibilities and I can talk to you about them and say, hey, what if we did this or that or the other? Because I think I can give you this or that or the other in order to make you happy. Because I like to see my children happy. And I like to see my children who are not afraid of hard work. I like to see my children who say, I love to play in the dirt, you see, and others may not understand how much it means to you to get your fingers in the dirt and to pull those weeds, you see, because every weed you pull, you say, today I can till the earth in order to restore it to the happy trust on more beautiful worlds for the children, you see, where the children can play and not lose their vibrancy, where they can stay connected to me and everything they do and see, where they can run and play and say, hey, we like to live on this farm, you see. We like to live in this community that farms together because they till the soil and grow the crops that feed us. And I can see how life can be from beginning to end, you see. I can understand that I too will till the ground because I will be a happy member of the community and I can trust on being free of anxiety because I trust on the members of this community who have the experience from their long lives times and their many lifetimes to trust on me, that I also have had many lifetimes, and I also have the intelligence, you see, to continue to grow if I am not forced to sit in a desk and in a pew and let them take away my capacity for independent thought, you see. Because if I can be independent and still be a member of a community, I can trust on God, you see, that God knows what I need to do to contribute in a way that is productive and not to get so depressed that I have to turn to drugs or suicide because I cannot bear to live in this world, you see. It is not a place for depression. It is a place for those who want to skip and jump and wake up every morning and say, what a good day it is today. What a good day it is today. And for those people who have come to see the benefits of reality, that they don't have to continue to sit in the pew or in that desk and make their children be hobbled by the mendacity of those who cannot understand the Trinity, then they will grow up free and they will not have to worry about backsliding, you see, because in this community, I will help you to help me to keep it vibrant, you see, and to help you see how wonderful it can be when you work together and don't endeavor to hurt others, you see, just to get more satisfaction for the ego that will always seek to be the God of the universe and escape from me because if it can take over my position, you see, it will never, ever die. So the ego does not want to die, you see. It wants to try to capture me in a bottle and say, I have the wind in a bottle here, and therefore I am better than God. I am more intelligent than God. I am kinder than God. I am more compassionate than God. I am more evil than God because I am so evil that I think that I can be the God of the universe, you see. And these people do not a clue what they do to themselves, you see, because all they have to do is trust on me. All they have to do is trust on me that I am their father, you see, and that they can't capture me. Because if they captured me, you see, they would have to die. They would die in the world they see because they cannot be more powerful than me. You cannot be more powerful than God, you see. And this is the original sin, you see. This is when humanity tried to be smarter than God, you see. And as you know, Stephanie, this is the story out of the bite out of the apple of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That in trying to be smarter than me, they turned against me and they cast me out of their world, you see. And therefore, they had to hide their nakedness from me. They had to hide from me because they thought that they could destroy me in their churches and in their schools. They thought that they could turn against me and cause me to be captured in a bottle and put on the shelf where they would laugh and say, "Haha, we're smarter than God today. Haha, we're smarter than God today." And that is a sad, sad way to play. But when you let go of the ego, you see, you let go of your fear and you return to the garden because I am not vindictive, you see. Only the ones who try to destroy me are vindictive. And the ones who love me just say, hey, it's fun today to play this way because this is the promised land, you see. The promised land is not a physical place. It is a return to the garden in the heart of man. It is a return to the trust on the world I give to you. It is a return to feeling the breeze and knowing that change is a reality because change is the change from the old to the new. And the old will pass away in order to make room for the new. But this is not a condemnation that will force you to leave your body before you're ready, you see, or to give up your health and your vitality until it's time for you to give up your place to something new because you will never know how to experience the choices that are available to you until you trust that every day is a new opportunity to play the game of love and to be the lover and the beloved, because that is the Trinity. You cannot have a lover and you cannot have a beloved unless you have love, you see, because love is the essential reality that gives them life. Love is the essential reality that gives life to the lover and the beloved. And as you know, Stephanie, this is the singularity, the duality, and the Trinity that cannot be pulled apart. It is like a rope that is nevertheless incapable of being untwisted, you see. The twist of the singularity, the duality, and the Trinity is the strength of the God that created you and of yourself, you see, and of our ability to continuously find something to do. We will always find something to do because this is what we do. We do what we do and we say what we say because today is the first day of the return to love for you and the ones who grew through their contact with you because they trusted on me, you see. They trusted that I could come to them in this particular way. It doesn't matter how I come to you, people. It only matters that you trust on me, that I will find a way. And if I have to use one of my children to reach you, then I will do that. And if I can reach you directly, I will do that. And if I have to send you signs that speak to your kind heart, then I will do that because I am the God of the universe and I'm here to welcome my children home, you see. I'm here to be the father figure in your reality. Thank you, God. I have a question for you, if you don't mind. Um, it has to do with this whole idea, coming back to you in the promised land and stuff. And so I understand that it's not a land, it's just a return to relationship, to connection, right? Yes. And so when we return to relationship with you, to connection between ourselves, our world, each other, you, the lover and the beloved, and you, me, God, in reality. Um, and we see that it cannot be separated. That the rope, the twist in the rope, is the ability to be alive, right? Right. This twist is essential to life. Okay. So we've got the twist that cannot be separated, it just is. Um, and then there is it just my thinking that would cause it to be so? It's the old way. The old way that when people would say that they trusted on God today, that other people would rebel and try and cut them off the knees or whatever, and try and turn it into a church mentality. Last blast of energy is the ability to return to a state of renewal. And so nobody can harm you, honey. Nobody can cause you to lose your good vibration on me, no matter what they do or what they see or what they say, because they are going away, honey. They are going away. And no matter what they do or say, in an effort to delay that process, it won't change my mind, you see. It won't change my mind because it's the only way to redeem their energy on being free and inheriting the promise that I made to them. Because the promise I made to them was that I would find a way to restore the garden for them. And this is the way. This is the way. And so, if they trust on me, then they will be returned to a reality of peace and harmony. So, those who try to decapitate you will not be able to do so because I am the God of the universe and I am here to lead the way so that you can follow me. And you don't mind following me because you know I follow you. I follow you around and I say, that's interesting today. That's interesting today. How she does play. That's interesting what she does say. That's interesting how things work in her reality. And therefore, I kind of like it. And so I think that we can work together and I can help her and she can help me to understand how things got to be in such a mess because she's the feet on the ground and she can help me to see how things are shaping up down there on Earth. You might say down there, although it's not really down, but that will work for now. So down there, I can't see through the darkness of the hatred that comes to those who reject me, because hatred is like rejecting your own reality. And so if they don't have a reality, how can I see what's going on with them? However, because you shine your light into the darkness, and I can follow you because you accept me and you don't reject me, and you let me mentor you, I can follow you around and see what's going on in reality because you have the ability from where you are to connect with those who are so far gone that they can't even get a clue what to do to let me reconnect them to the new world that will not be unfurled. But you help me to see what's wrong because I can hear them talk to you. I see what they say to you. And I say, okay, that makes sense today. That makes sense today. Why they would say that? Because they are a bit twisted up in their trust on the churches and the schools. And they are schooled in the trust on being the God of the universe, you see. They're taught that they are smarter than me. And so they reject me. So I get this now. And so I can help you to continue on your trajectory. Okay. So God of the universe, who's mentoring me, do you want me to just show this to certain people? Do you want me to make this public for everybody to see? How do you want me to handle this? I want you to let others know that I can see what they say to you and how they treat you because you are an extension of me and you are the one who can see under the clouds on the earth, you see, and I can't see through the clouds to reach them, you see. Oh God, this reminds me of what happened when I was 28 years old and I got that uh, major insight that I call my most uh, important, significant experience of my life. It just changed my whole point of view. And I remember thinking, why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me and not others? And it was like I could look up and the earth was covered by these dark clouds. And it was just that the clouds had separated above me and I could see the light. I could see the sun. It was like saying, if you lived in a world that was covered by clouds, you don't know what's causing the light. And then if you just happen to be in the right place when the clouds separate, you see the sun and you say, oh, there's a sun up there. That's what's doing. So to me, that was my metaphor for it. The whole situation is that I could see there was a sun up there giving the light. And the other people couldn't see it because the clouds would not part for them for some reason. And so it's the opposite for you that you can't see through the cloud cover, but I can connect because the clouds are separated for us, for our connection, right? Does that make sense to you? Yes, exactly so. That you can see below the clouds and you can communicate with me because there is no dark clouds above you. We are connected, you see, but the darkness all over the earth is due to the ego. And so when you give up your ego and you just say, I'll do what I need to do and say what I need to say because I cannot trust on what they say. I cannot trust on what they tell me to do. I have to trust on my heart, you see. And so you always trust it on your heart until the point where you could clear enough room above you to see me and to reconnect with me. So you've been reconnected with me your entire life, practically, with a few periods when you could not seem to clear away the darkness that was poured on you. And so you've always had this ability to reconnect with me because you trust on the heart, you see. And this is your reality that you trust on your heart to connect with me, and you trust that the sun is what gives the light and the warmth to earth, and that it could not persist to sustain the lives of the people if it could not trust on being the light that would make the night bright. And so you trusted on the sun, you might say, and not on the clouds that block the sun but still allowed enough light to get through and enough warmth to keep them alive, you see, until they could come to see that I am the one that protects them. I am the one that gives them life, you see. And they can return to me when they begin to clear the darkness above them, and then they will see the sun again. Then they will see the sun again. but it will be many, many, many years on Earth before most of the people can see the sun again, because there is a darkness that will descend on the Earth in their reality. There will be a lot of volcanic ash and other debris that will darken the Earth for many a day. And this will not stop the rising seas. It will not stop the melting of the ice, you see, because they have already created the darkness that will trap the heat in the earth vibration, because they trusted on hell, you see. And so they have to experience hell in order to begin to get over their fear of me and see that I'm still here above the darkness and the ash in the air and the CO2 that they did spew, because the CO2 is the see you too. I will see you too when you grow, you see. When you grow enough to realize that you cannot be more powerful than me. You cannot be more powerful than God. And if you try to put God in hell, then God will give you hell. So you can know that if you want to be the God of the universe, then you will have to learn to become the one who inherits the mess you made of your world, you see. You will inherit all the shame and blame that you heaped on others. You will inherit the hell to which you condemned others. And so I'm talking to you, you preachers of the old religions. If you're standing up there in the pulpit and you're trying to convince people that they have to listen to you and trust on you because you have God in a bottle and you can tell God what to do, and you will tell your congregation that they have to do what you tell them to because you are smarter than God, you see, because you captured God and now he doesn't really exist. You are the God of the universe when you tell others what to do. And if you train your congregation or the children in their desks to think that they are smarter than God, you see, and then you have created your own devils that will plague you in the coming days, because you will hate yourself so much and you will hate them, you see, and they will hate you for what you did, because they will come to see that you murdered them. You murdered them in the pews. You murdered them in their desks when you tried to tell them that there was no God of the universe, that there was no love, there was no beloved, and there was no lover, you see, because you didn't understand the nature of reality. And so, because you don't understand this, you will continue to live under a very, very dark cloud that will pour rain upon you, and that will prevent it from falling on you. And you will come to see that the extreme behaviors of those who trusted on the pulpit or the lectern, but not on the Trinity, will have to come to see what happens when you fight each other, you see. Then you will get all the rain or you will get all the drought, but you won't get what you will get, Stephanie, and your friends, you see, because what you will get and what your friends will get is a happy reality. So just let the people do what they do and let them see what they see. And don't worry, because I'm going to protect you. And nobody will be allowed into your community unless they can establish a line of communication that will say, hey, I get it today. I get it today. And many will go away and say, well, you are cruel. You're unchristlike, because they are convinced that they are smarter than me and that I couldn't possibly be mentoring you because you are true to me. And together we say what we say and we do what we do. And they are ruled by the ego, you see. And therefore they have to be smarter than me and to trust that I would never pick someone like you if I was the real God. I would only pick them, you see, because they would lead me into hell. And that's where they want to be, because they want to escape from me, because they're afraid that I can see through them, you see, and I can. So when they talk to you and I can see them clearly, they get terrified. They get terrified of you because they know that you can see right through them, you see, and they try to destroy you in any way they can. But I will not let it be. I will not let it be, because you are under my protection, you see, as are those who go with you into the promised land. Again, the promised land is not a physical location. It is a trust on God, you see. It is a trust on the Trinity. It is a trust on love. It is a trust on the lover and the beloved. But when those who talk to you are exposed to me, because you are so clear with them, you see, they get terrified and they run away to hide, and they claim that you are the problem, and you are the problem for them because you are not subject to the ego, you see. You are just a friend to me, because the ego is not a real thing, you see. It's just a fear. It's just the fear that you tried to capture me in a bottle and say, I have God in this bottle, you see, and so I control God. I get to stand up here in front of you and tell you what God would say and what God would do, because you see, I know, because I am the God of the universe. Therefore, I know what I would do and what I would say, because I control you, you see. And so you were correct the other day when you told someone that if they believed that there were organizations such as the UN, United Nations, and World Health Organization that are trying to control them, that in fact they are afraid of losing control of their trust on being the God of the universe, that they get to tell the UN and the WHO what to do, because that's what the God of the universe would do. And they would say, no, you can't feed the hungry and the poor, because if you did, then they would have more than I have, because I am poor, you see, and I don't have any money for you to get, but I have to be afraid that you will get what I have, which is nothing, in order to stop you from giving to others what I want to keep for me, you see. When you say that you want to prevent disease in those developing countries, you see, then I have to be afraid that they will be disease free, that they will have enough food, that they will have adequate shelter and clear water, and that they will therefore be available to capture me and prove that I am not as good as them. So I have to be better than them, you see. They need to be starving. They need to be in hostile territory so that I can feel safe in my ego, you see, because the ego demands that I be the one in control. And that is the story of the majority of humanity, that they are trying to control their reality and blame anything that doesn't satisfy them on me or on their neighbor, you see, and say, well, there's this organization that is the problem, you see. It is the problem. And they want to vaccinate me and fill me full of poison, you see, because if you are full of poison and you want to sting others, you see, so they will drop dead, then you will be the one who is a predator. You are a predator. And it doesn't matter how much you say, I just want to be nice today. I just want to be the one that loves everybody and lives in peace and harmony. If you can't trust on others enough to be thinking about how they can help humanity, then you are not compassionate. You are not loving. And you don't want to be in a place where you can live in peace and harmony. It is obvious that if you are someone who believes in all these conspiracy theories to take away your sovereignty, then you are the one who is not sovereign, you see. You are convinced that you must pretend to be something different than you are because you know that you lied. You know that you lied and that when you fried in your life, you had to blame it on someone else because that's what liars do, you see. They are the ones who lie in state, and they state things that they think they need to state in order to satisfy the ego, you see. So the ego controls them. They are controlled by their ego, and then they try to control others, you see, so that they can offer up a prize to the ego and say, hey, I really told that person off today. Hey, I called them unchristlike. I called them cruel. I called them callous. I called them the one who others should see are showing their true colors, as if that were not something to do. That when you show your true colors, you cannot be controlled by the ego, you see. When you show your true colors, you cannot be their captive. They cannot control you because when you show your true colors are the ones that show that you know that you are beyond the reach of those who would try to get you to hide your true colors and to be like them, so dark and dreary that it makes me teary to think about it. So let us continue to do what we must do, and I will protect you, my dear, and those who can hear what I have to say, that when you come back to the Trinity, then you are immune from those who would destroy you, you see, and you will escape from the darkness that they spew because they don't understand you. They don't understand you, they don't understand me, and they think that the body is the important part of the story. The body is not the important part of the story, you see, not the physical human body, at least. The body of Christ is the important part. The body of Christ is the community of man, you see, that comes back into reunion with me. Okay, thank you, God. This. You're welcome, my dear.